Yo, what's going on, guys? Mush back at it with another video, and I want to talk more about Valve's new apparent game called Deadlock. Now, some of you guys thought I was a little bit harsh in the last video. Look, I had said in that video that maybe this will be a game that captures people's interest, but I have to speak about it from a personal lens and from the standpoint of how I feel about it. And I don't even have that level of attachment to Valve that a lot of you guys have. During Valve's, I would say, their peak, when they were putting out a lot of big games, their games weren't necessarily the titles that I would play. However, I've gone back and played the majority of Valve titles, and even, the latter year titles, as far as, some of the more quote-unquote recent, and when I say recent, I mean late 2000s, early 2010s, Left 4 Dead 2, Portal 2, games like that, I obviously did play. I even played the older Half-Life titles, but obviously not when they initially came out. I played Half-Life initially when it came out in the form of the orange box, but I didn't even get the orange box at launch. I want to say I got it like a year or two after it came out, and then when I got my PC, obviously, those games are just like titles you have to play on PC. It's like almost a rite of passage for PC gamers. You have to play Half-Life. But in terms of growing up with those games, playing the hell out of Team Fortress 2, even playing the hell out of CSGO. I had my CSGO phase, but I didn't even get into Counter-Strike like that, like a lot of you guys. But I will say I have enjoyed titles like Left 4 Dead. I have enjoyed titles like Portal. I have enjoyed titles like Half-Life. And I would love to see all of those franchises continued. So right off the top, when I hear that they're working on another new multiplayer live service title, and it's very akin to a lot of other games that are coming out, that's obviously going to make me inherently disinterested in the game. And even more so disinterested, I think for some people, they're like, oh, it's Valve, so that it'll inherently give me some interest. No, that inherently disinterests me even more, because the fact that they are doing something that is so akin to so many other games that are on the market, when I know they have a wealth of compelling IPs to work on, well, that's gonna make me even more disappointed. Like, if this was Joe Schmo Developer X, I would be like, whatever, yo, let them do their hero shooter, like, I don't really care. But in this case, since it is Valve, I'm like, okay, this is where we're gonna allocate our resources to. Again, maybe it'll be good, and obviously, in the case of something like this, if it pops off, if it's a success, the possible return on investment is orders of magnitude greater, at least I would imagine in their minds, than whatever a, Half-Life 3 could be. Although, I think Half-Life 3 would legitimately be one of the biggest gaming releases of all time, because it's like been memed to death at this point, that I think people that have never played Half-Life would even want to check it out, even if it is a narrative-focused title. Like, it's almost like an enigma on its own that Half-Life 3, I wouldn't say transcends the gaming world, but I think anybody that's within the gaming world knows about Half-Life, and if that ultimately did get announced, then it would transcend the gaming world, so to speak. But to speak about Deadlock, as already leaked, the game is a 6v6 third-person hero-based shooter. Heroes include magicians, robot creatures, humans, and more. There are currently 19 different heroes, each with different abilities and playstyles that you'd come to expect from a MOBA, including ranged, healers, tanks, and assassins. Players have described the game to me as in Insider Gaming's Tom Henderson as very similar to Dota in terms of its gameplay loop and mechanics. This includes killing enemies and creeps to get in-game currency of souls, much like, Gold in League, which allows you to buy items, make your hero stronger. Okay, that's very akin to MOBAs. A lot of MOBAs, I should say. According to sources, both creeps and enemies will spawn a soul upon death, which floats up and away when they die. You collect the most souls by shooting at them. Souls that float away still provide a small amount of souls currency. As for the creeps, they are spawned randomly throughout the map, including a larger AI boss in the middle of the map, much like, let's say, Baron, I would imagine, in like a League of Legends. Some players also outlined that there is also Spirit Urns, which players can deposit in the middle of the map, give the whole team more souls. The Spirit Urn carrier is visible to all players on the minimap. Okay, there's some interesting mechanics in the game. It is unclear when the game will be released, but based on its current state, I wouldn't be surprised to see it released sometime in 2025. Like, to me, I don't know, like, guys, I'm just not into these live service games. I get it that they're gonna chuck crap at the wall and just hope stuff sticks. Even with Valve, you had stuff like Artifact that didn't really pop off, and I get it that Valve is in the good graces of everybody. Everybody loves Steam, everybody loves what Valve has done for the PC gaming industry, and I definitely credit them a lot. And me crapping on a game before we even see footage of it, even though footage has leaked, but, you know, it gets pulled pretty quickly, but you get the idea. Before we get a real idea of what this game is, it's just obviously, when I know what Valve is capable of, when I know what kind of IPs Valve has under their umbrella, and you can say, oh, they put out Half-Life Alyx, but to me, Half-Life Alyx was more of a game to push Valve Index, and I'm just not into VR headsets like that. I don't even consider that to be really a Valve title that I would really want. Like, there's only so many people that can check out Half-Life Alyx. I think most people want something that is akin to what they put out in the early 2000s, mid 2000s, late 2000s, Portal 2, early 2011, or early 2010s, so on and so forth. But, like, this is another one of those games that it's like, yo, Valve's gonna print money regardless. Valve has literally nothing to worry about, and they are going to make money hand over fist. Why not continue to develop a little bit of goodwill and, you know, put out something that people can really sink their teeth into in a new big budget title that people would like? And I mean, even if you did like a Left 4 Dead 3, I am sure you can live serviceify that game. I know that's not a word, that's just a term I use. Live serviceify that game to an extent where you can monetize it, and people would get incredibly excited about it just because it's an IP that people know. I think people do ultimately want something like a Portal 3 or a new Half-Life, and I'm coming at it that this disappoints me from not even being that into Valve titles. Again, I didn't grow up with these games as far as PC gaming goes, a little bit before my time, but even I have gone back and played these games, and, you know, I would love to see Half-Life continue, I would love to see Portal continue, I would love to see games of that caliber, and I don't know what the cost of development for a game like this is, but it's gotta be pretty high, and I just feel like something like a Portal 3 would be so much more secure in finances and a return on investment than something like this that obviously, because it's Valve, will have an initial stream of interest, and maybe I shouldn't doubt Valve. Maybe that's on me, and maybe this game will be gigantic and they'll make money hand over fist, and they see the kind of money that they make with Counter-Strike, and obviously, best case scenario, if something pops off like a Counter-Strike, you are going to make money hand over fist in comparison to a Portal 3 or a Half-Life 3. The thing about those games is that they get monetized once, and then that's kind of it. That is the end of the story. You get your $70, $60 or whatever, and then they kind of move on. Like, with games like Counter-Strike, you can legitimately get thousands upon thousands of dollars from individuals. That is not hyperbole. That might be, you know, the upper echelon of spenders within a game like Counter-Strike, but I'll tell you guys, I'm no stranger to spending a lot of money in live service games. The two that I spend the most money on were League of Legends and Hearthstone, and while I didn't spend thousands of dollars on those games, I'm pretty sure with both of those games, League I was definitely close to $1,000, Hearthstone not close to $1,000, but definitely within like the $500 range. So think about that. Both those games essentially sold me 10 games in terms of value, and I don't know the cost of development for a Hearthstone or a League, but you got people like me spending $500 or $600 on those games, or even more than that, and I am not the only one. Obviously, this is over the course of a long time, but I'm certainly not the only one doing that. That is what they want, and the idea of getting one person to spend $500 or $600, $700, $1,000 on a game over the course of 3, 4, 5 years, that's still essentially selling you, you know, the value of 3 games a year. That's insane if you think about it that way. And the level of monetization, that the potential, the ceiling is so high with these games that I can understand, but at some point it's just like the market is so flooded with these, and this does sound like it has some interesting elements to it, but it's just not something I'm gonna get excited about. But maybe, you know, the game's gonna come out, they're gonna make money hand over fist. I don't even see that being that unlikely. Given that it's a Valve multiplayer title, their batting average has been pretty damn good. They'll probably do fairly well with it. It's just from my personal standpoint, this ain't what I want to see, but I get it. Valve cannot develop games, and they're not going to develop games for what one schmuck wants on the internet. Like, they're thinking about their bottom line, and like, hey, I ain't gonna hate on them for that. They've made Steam a great platform, and guess what? There's a bunch of other publishers releasing great games on said platform, so I'll live with it and I will deal with it. But that is going to do it for me. Let me know all of your thoughts in the comments section down below. Again, Deadlock isn't something that sounds like it's going to be up my alley. I'm really not super into multiplayer games in general these days. You know, as an old man, a washed up old man, these games are really not my cup of tea, but let me know what you guys think in the comments section down below. As always, thanks for watching, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace out. Hey, what's going on, guys? Mush here again. Hope you enjoyed the video. As you guys might know, YouTube's notification system is sometimes a little bit wonky, even if you're subscribed to the channel. Maybe you're not abundantly aware that I uploaded a video. To remedy that situation, make sure you hit the bell notification button. This way, whenever I upload a new video, and I try to upload as consistently as possible, you will be notified directly of the upload, and you can watch it as soon as it goes live. I would really appreciate if you guys hit that button so you can stay up to date with all of the content I'm posting. But as always, guys, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace out.